Bodie is a ghost town in the California Sierra Nevada mountains. It was a thriving gold mining town in the late 1800s, but it promptly fell into disrepair. Bodie does not have any moving water or wood to supply power to it, so they had to get power from somewhere. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video.
Tanner, check Tanner, check Tanner, Tanner, check Tanner, check Tanner. Hello, this is Tanner Tech.
Bodie needed to have power to run its gold processing equipment, as well as light the town. And this electricity came from a faraway source approximately 13 miles away in the form of a hydroelectric generator plant. This generator plant generated 130 horsepower of electricity at 5,000 volts that was shipped to Bodie to power these giant motors. These giant motors were what ran something called a stamp mill, and the stamp mill basically ground the gold ore into powder so that way the gold dust could easily be extracted from it. This giant motor was what the electricity was able to supply in the town. And I think this motor was pretty cool because it really showed that when there was a lack of a way to get energy, people found a way, and they were able to harness the power of a river 13 miles away to actually run their gold processing equipment in a town quite far away from the water source. Now, I just love to look at this old electrical equipment because it just looks so cool, and this same equipment was actually used in the town a long time ago when it was operational. These potentiometers were pretty cool, or variable resistors, because of all of the power they could handle. These variable resistors probably powered the motor. As you can see, there's all these small pads on the side where you can select different resistor values, and as you can see in the back of the rheostat, you can see all of those different coils or resistors. Now I imagine when this motor was running and you were adjusting the power to turn it up or down, that these coils in the back would be glowing red hot, dissipating the energy that wasn't going into the motor. I thought that was pretty cool. There were also these interesting switches and contacts on the back of the control panel that allowed you to control the motor. This is an interesting fuse box on the wall. This is a closer look at that switch, where if you rotate it, it'll connect these wires together. Now, there are wires covering the walls in all different directions, which is cool. This is another cool switch. It looks like something you would find in a Frankenstein movie. It was probably used to fire up the motor. Imagine 1800 and you're pulling this switch and firing up the motor. Now, this big black transformer on the wall was what was able to step down that 5,000 volts to a voltage that you could more precisely light up electric lights with. Because there were all kinds of electric incandescent lights inside this building, and they needed to be lighted. So this transformer stepped down that high voltage to light those incandescent lights without the possibility of getting shocked. So these transformers were pretty cool indeed. Now, there were some fuses sitting on the ground and on the tables. This is another cool thing to look at, along with the glass insulator. These fuses were used to shut off the power supply to the motor if anything bad happened, or if there was an excessive power supply flowing through the motor, like a short circuit or a current draw. So I thought that was extremely interesting. I still don't know what this part is, though. I thought it looked pretty cool. Had some switches and motors on it. One last interesting thing that I'd like to point out is the similarities between the motor inside the Bodie ghost town and the Tesla motor that I have a patent for on my wall. The Tesla motor runs off AC current, and it was widely used because it was such an efficient motor. So this motor inside the Bodie ghost town has a striking similarity to the Tesla motor, which I thought was very cool.